All right, well, good. It looks like I'm able to go live on TikTok again, which is good. Good morning. Hi, Kate. Hi, Carrie. Hey, Tiff. Good morning, Ricky. Hello from O Creative Studios. I'm not doing yes or no. So, the way the card pulls work is I call them sensory card pulls. I'm going to give you three things this morning. You're going to pick which one you're feeling, and then I do three separate draws. So they're kind of collective, but they'll be more specific to what you pick. Good morning, Michelle. Oh, hey, Rosa. Hi, Christine. Hi, Stephanie. Good morning. Good morning. Whew. How are we doing today? I'm back on TikTok. So the ban has been lifted. I think we discovered, well, I think I know what the problem was. I said the F word too many times. I'm not used to being on social streaming because it's been a minute since we were doing it privately in the Zoom, and I got super comfortable with my cussing. So I'm gonna have to do less cussing so I don't get banned from TikTok. The other platforms didn't seem to mind, but you know. So we'll still be spicy, but just like a little slightly less spicy. Good morning, Janelle. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, so things to note, the next channeling is going to be on the 22nd. That's actually going to be kind of an interesting day because we're going to be switching out of Scorpio season. And it is quite a portal day because it's going to be 11, 22, 22, which is when you reduce it down, it's all ones. So it's going to be, I think that's going to be quite a day. So our next channeling is on that day. Registration for that is already open. There's a link for it in my bio, but I will send an email out this morning with things. Hi, Marion. Hi, Cassie. Good morning. Good morning. So that is the next one. I opened applications for the next workshop. I'm calling it the lifestyle membership because I'm just trying to make this as simple as possible for me and for all of you. And also, I can't wait for you to see how easy it is going to be because it blows my mind as well. But the lifestyle membership is basically the next intensive, and we're going to meet every Sunday, every week, so we can start the week off together. And registration for that will open on December 1st. And it's going to include all of your access to all of the channelings as well. And you'll be able to get everything on one page, including any announcements or playlists or whatever. It's very simple. And I'm excited to reconnect with you guys in the group. So you just have to apply for now. And then when registration opens, I'll let you know. And if you have any questions, you can let me know as well. But it is fairly simple. Now, the first round of lifestyle membership workshops, we're going to be really focusing on family stuff, on deprogramming old behaviors and the kind of like finding them and like trigger points. We're going to be coming off the heels of the holidays and eclipse season and all of that and starting off 2023. So we'll have plenty to work with and plenty to kind of dig into together. And I'm also really excited to do more ritual together as well. So that's what's happening there. You can also find the link for that in my bio or just go to my website, sarahmala.com with an H, and you can learn more there. I think that's it for announcements. So, next channeling is the 22nd, and the lifestyle membership is open for application. Um, yeah. So, how are you feeling? Let's do our numbers. On a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling this morning? I'm not even gonna give you roadkill and stuff. Just tell me. How's your energy? I feel like I'm at a 5, 4.5, 5. Good morning, Beth. Beth's at a 7. Nikki's at 7. All right, love it. Oh my God, we have a lot of sevens today. We had a lot of sevens Friday too, I think. Valerie's at a 6. Kate's at a 4. Carrie's at 6. Sending lots of good juju to Ricky, who's recuperating. A lot of people are sick. I woke up this morning and thought, I hope another round of people doesn't get sick because the weather shifts are not it. Like it's cold now, and it was like 70 degrees last week. It's very weird. Very weird. Some comments were filtered to protect the community's experience. Interesting. Okay, thank you. What's anxiety at? Are you asking the group, babe? Cassie wants to know what everyone's anxiety is at. Snow is coming today in Missouri. Wow. Okay. All right. Hi, Deborah. Well, we're also rolling in now into holiday season, and I don't know how that is for you guys. Like I know how it is for me. Um, and I don't know if you're feeling like this too, but it feels like, especially over the past couple years, my desire to participate in the holidays has hit a drastic all-time low. Drastic all-time low. Janelle says her anxiety is always at a 9, so just so you know. But just remember, like, we have our anxiety and then we have collective anxiety that's really amping up right now. So especially just like even like during before times, the holidays are high anxiety. Carrie says not looking forward to, especially this year. Can we just skip it? I'm feeling that. Quite frankly, I'm only doing one family event this year. And the only reason I'm doing it is because I don't have something as fun or better for my kids to do. And I know that if we don't go, they're going to be sad and upset. And this isn't the year to add sad and upset to those kids' lives. So I'm doing that for them. But it's going to take a lot of energetic prep on my part to be able to go into that and just do my rubber and glue spells. You know what I'm saying? But this year it's not hitting, guys. Jen and I were actually talking when we were at the cabin about like how do we like kind of tap into more of the um earth-based cyclical energies and like celebrate those, like, and celebrate them in a way that feels really good to us and like has elements that all of us enjoy, but like without any of the stress and anxiety and like without any of the people that bring that anxiety, like chosen family, chosen family only. So I'm wondering if you're feeling like that too, because this year, like last year, it wasn't great. I feel like I was also not very excited to do the holiday thing, but this year it's like zero, zero. Yeah. And it like I said, it's just for the kids this year because we got to pull something together so that I do not feel like an absolute terrible mom this year. Are you in the same boat, Carrie? It sounds like it. What a time. What a time. Yeah. I'm also in that. Carrie says I'm in progress of separating from chosen family as well. Oh, okay. Well, listen, if you're in a space right now where it doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of people that you can connect with, I don't think you're alone in that. Um, the boundaries they're intense. So, without further ado, we will talk more about these things. These are exactly the kind of conversations that we have in workshop. So, if you're interested in like deep diving into that, I suggest applying. Um, because we will be all up in it, let me tell you. Let me tell you. Um, let's go ahead and get started on these card pulls. So I'm going to give you three different things. And I was thinking about this last night for some reason. I'm going to give you three different vibes this morning. Okay. And you pick them, pick which vibe you want, and we'll go from there. Hey, Jackie. So, and if you're new, sensory card pulls are super easy. Just pick whichever vibe aligns with you most this morning. And I'm going to do three draws from my Wisdom of Avalon deck. And we'll get you a message for this day. Okay. All right. So the first vibe is this one. This is vibe one. Vibe one is in a cozy cabin with a fire going, with a really thick, cozy blanket on and a hot drink, and it smells really good there. And maybe you have a dog to cuddle. Okay. So that's vibe one, in a cozy cabin, all snuggled up in a blanket. Okay. Vibe one. Vibe two is basically you don't have any clothes on really, and you're out on this gorgeous beach, feeling the sun soaking into your skin, smelling the salt air, and just feeling really delightful. So, vibe two is the beach. Hey, Freddie. So, again, vibe one is being cozy in a cabin, all snuggled up with a fire. Vibe two is being half naked on a beach and feeling the sun soaking into your skin, that salty air. And love you, Freddie. And vibe three is going to be walking through the woods after rainfall. So you have that amazing smell of petrichor rising from that mossy floor of the forest, and it's very green and just lush and delicious. Okay, so you've got vibe one is your cozy cabin, vibe two is the beach, and vibe three is walking through that forest after rainfall. Okay, what vibe are you feeling? Go ahead and drop your choice. You are allowed to have more than one vibe, but really tap into it for yourself today. Like, which one are you seriously feeling? Like, if I'm going to seriously tap into a vibe right now, actually, there's two that are really appealing to me, and they're very different, but one and two are both very appealing. I think I would be in a better mood if I was on a beach right now. Just gonna say, I think my mood would be better. But it also feels like really fantastical this time. So I also would be fine being in a cabin. So again, your vibes. Cozy in a cabin with a blanket and a fire and a puppy. If you like puppies, you better like puppies. Don't be here if you don't like puppies. All right. I'm not like that about too many things, but like, come on. All right. And then the second one is sunning yourself on some gorgeous beach. And the third one is walking through the forest after it's rained. Okay. It's like a very Pacific Northwest forest. At least the one in my brain is. All right. Does everybody hear the choices and pick? All right. All right. Carrie's like all of them also. Christine says cabin and a nude beach. Kate says prerequisite, must like puppies to be here. I mean, I'm just saying. I don't say that about many things, but like, come on. If you don't like puppies, I don't know that we can get each other. We don't get each other. Well, let's see what the messages are and you'll see how it goes. So the first one is going to be your cabin, okay? I'm doing great so far. I'm like a little like, don't kick me off TikTok. All right. Cabin is first. All right. If you're just joining us, I'm about to start the polls or really get into it. But you have three vibes to choose from. The first one is curled up on a couch in a cozy cabin with really soft blankets and a fire. The second one is being on a gorgeous beach, having the sun bake your skin and salty sea air. And the third one is walking through a forest after rainfall. And it's like a Pacific Northwest forest and lots of like soft pine needles on the ground and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So those are your three vibes. This is going to be the cabin, the cozy cabin. Are you ready? You can tell me when you're ready, and I will start. Thank you. I'm done with my birthday now, though. I've had enough. I'll give you my thoughts on that another time. I don't want to tangent for like 20 minutes about it. All right, we're ready. So this is your cabin pull. You've got the water fairy. You've got the fire fairy. And you've got the frog, which is incredibly appropriate for the holidays, if I do say so myself. So let's get into it. You've got the water fairy, the fire fairy, and the frog. Now, the fairies are the elements in this card deck, right? So water ties to emotion, fire ties to like creative action, so on and so forth. The frog is all about clearing out clutter, both physical and emotional. Okay. So here's the story for my cozy cabin friends and anybody else for whom it resonates. Remember, just listen, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. For those of you who seriously gravitated towards this card pull, it feels like you are in a space like as soon as Scorpio season hit, quite frankly. It feels like almost like you were in one of those tanks that just started to fill up with water, and you're like, uh-oh, how is this gonna go? Because it just keeps filling and filling, and you're like, am I gonna be able to get out of this, or do I drown in this? Like, what's the end game of being in this tank with water and water your emotions? It feels like an overwhelming, constant um, filling up of your emotional cup. And part of the reason why it's overwhelming, generally speaking, is because these emotions are not just like your run of the mill emotions that you just deal with on a daily basis. These are deep ones. These are ones that have been dredged up from the most scorpionic, dark water depths of the emotional ocean. Okay. And you may not have been ready to find yourself swimming with these particular sharks, but you're doing it anyway. And it's a lot. And you need just a little reminder about who you are in all of this. Because when you're in it, you just feel like you're drowning. And it feels like, like, why? What's the point? What's on the other side of this? And that's a very Scorpio way to feel. And I feel just the same. So you're really not alone with that. It's the feeling of like, is there ever going to be a day that I take a full breath of air again? Will this ever make sense? Will I ever not feel so heavy? Is there a reason for all of this insanity? And the answer is always there is, of course. But we're getting to a point as we, start our descent out of Scorpio season, where it is time to not just sit in your emotions, but to really understand why they've come up and who triggered them. Because that might be the part of this that you don't like. Things needed to come up. 100% they did. But who triggered the things? Who did it? Because for some of you, this is incredibly specific. Okay? Somebody triggered your shit. And what you need to know is that the trigger was fine. You're processing through it. But on the other side, do you want them to be able to do that again? Because it will be something that will happen again and again and again. And the reason I know that is because you know that. It's always been that way. There hasn't been any growing and healing or recognition on this side. So the trigger will always be the trigger. You are the only factor in this equation that has legs to get up and move. So that's you. Now, at the same time, you've got the fire fairy here. So You Fire Fairy feels almost like Sagittarius season, like right over there, being like, don't die. I'm right here. Like, I'm coming. And it is quite like that. Hang in there, but stay on course with yourself. Don't give up yet. It's really almost over. And the thing you really need to remember is that the lesson of Scorpio season is not that we just deep dive into emotions, die, and then come back out to start it all over again. But we deep dive into emotions, we die about it, and then we come back out and we say, hey, all of you people who have been triggering me need to clear out because you don't belong here anymore. I just cleaned this house. Don't walk through it with your muddy feet. So it's a time for clearing. Okay. That is your cabin message. I hope that resonated. Hi, Beth. Beth, it was so good to see you on Friday. You made me so happy. Thank you so much for the feather and the crystal. Thank you. Mwah. Um, ugh, that was a one, huh? That was a one. Let's see what the beach is like. So if you're just joining us, we're doing 3 different vibes. That was the cozy in a cabin vibe, which, it was what it was. The second one is soaking up the sun on the beach, breathing in the salty air. And the third one is walking through the forest after it's rained, and it's like a Pacific Northwest forest with lots of pine needles and like just deep dark greens and nice rich dirt, and it's delightful. So those are your 3. So if you're just joining us, you might want to pick between the beach and the forest. And I'm shuffling right now for the beach. So let's see. Those of you who chose the cabin, did that resonate for you? Are you feeling that one? Because I'm kind of feeling that one. Ooh, I don't like that. Mary Beth said several dreams of me in a car drowning. I don't like that. Did you look that up though? I bet that has some pretty profound um, symbolism, because typically being in a car, are you driving or not driving? Because that's like you kind of feeling in control of things. And then I do wonder about the that's okay. Sometimes they choose you, babe. Yeah, I'm very ready for Sagittarius season. Heaven's sakes. I have equal parts Sag and Scorpio, fun fact. So I enjoy Scorpio season, but I have honestly not enjoyed the Scorpio season. It's been brutal from start to finish, and I am done. But it isn't done with me. And I have respect for it, so it's fine. But like, you know? Mm. Okay, this is gonna be your beach message. So I feel like we've gotten this message before recently too. Hello. Okay, so again, if you're just joining us, you've got 2 polls left. You have 2 vibes to choose from. You can choose from the beach, or you can choose from walking through a forest after it's rained. Okay, so beach vibes or forest vibes. All right. Okay, so this is going to be your beach vibe. Magically Me says, I have equal parts Capricorn and Sag, so mixed feelings. Yeah, I bet your Capricorn is like, what is wrong with you, Sagittarius people? Okay, here we go. Hello, Paul. Hello, Carrie. Choose your vibes. You're choosing from the beach or the forest, and here we go. It's beach time. So, and I feel like we got this recently, but it's protection. Okay. It's the High Priestess. And look who's back. It's the forgiveness card. Well. Okay. So let's talk about it. We're going to talk about forgiveness first because this does come up, and when forgiveness pops up, it's like it'll be popping up for a second because it really wants you to pay attention to this one. Now, I'm going to try to come at forgiveness a little bit differently this time too, just so that maybe it helps you to see it a different way. And in order to help you see it, I'm going to attack you a little bit first, just to kind of loosen you up. So typically, we don't want to forgive people because there is a part of us that feels like we are the judge, the jury, and the executioner. And that if we quote unquote forgive somebody, that we are letting them off the hook and that they need to pay for what they did. Now, that's a valid feeling. However, it is never going to be your job. It's always zero going to be your job. Whenever you step into the role of dealing out karmic consequences, you are going to end up in a place where you were the only one who suffers. Okay? There is a difference between vigilante energy and between feeling like you need to teach a person a karmic lesson. Okay? I'm not at all, actually, it turns out, because I've been thinking about this a lot, I don't really ascribe to the thought of, turning the other cheek or killing them with kindness. I do think people need to face the consequences of their actions. But if you are the type of person who is so passive aggressive that you don't tell people when they have upset you, and instead you say nothing and grow resentment, mistrust, and layers upon layers of missed connections, that's not the same. So, really look at yourself in this one because there is a situation here that is causing you a lot of stress, anxiety, and pain, and is not affecting the other person at all. Okay? So, you're not really teaching anybody a lesson by holding on to this one. But you may need to have held on to it as long as you did to learn some lessons of your own. This is coming up because maybe it's time for you to jump off that particular growth spiral and move on to some other energies. And truly, if you're holding on to things that anchor you into a past energy, be they good or bad, you aren't allowing new energy to come in. We classify energy as good and bad, right? We just do it. But past energy is not a place to anchor into. When you anchor into past energy, even if it is the most glorious memory, you are not being a present person because your main anchor is in something that happened in a before time. So you're constantly throwing your energy back there, trying to pull that pin into the present or getting your nourishment from that space. And that energy there isn't animated anymore. It's a memory. So you've been feeding yourself without any nutrition. You've been feeding yourself off of water vapor. You can only feed with nutrition from the present moment. If you're jumping into the future or you're going into the past, you are not pulling from present energy, which is vibrant life force energy. So, forgiveness as a tool allows you to just kind of pull your pin out of that over there, whatever that situation was, and just be more present, be here now. You can be assured that if moving forward, somebody does something to you that you feel is unfair and egregious, you can be assured that you won't create this kind of an energy anymore if you are completely upfront and honest in the moment that it happens. It's not easy, especially if you're in the habit of not doing that because you think it's kinder not to call people out. But has it been working for you? Is it kinder? Or is it so much better to let people know right when they do it that you're not okay with that behavior? Which brings us into the protection card. This is the boundary card. Okay? Boundaries are not for other people, they are for you. They're for you. When you set a boundary, you're not saying, this person over here needs to respect my boundary and do this, this, and this. It's the other way around. This person here needs to respect my boundary. And when someone does something that disrespects a boundary, there's an action I have to take, and it is my responsibility. Either that person gets talked to, they get moved out of an inner circle, or whatever it is, but there's a consequence, even if it is you literally standing up and walking out of a room. Your boundaries are for you, not for other people. You have to enforce them. So that's kind of a whopper between these two. Because here's the other thing that's happening. Remember, we have the high priestess. Your intuition is incredibly, what's the word? I wanted to say your intuition is incredibly high right now, but that's not what I meant. It's elevated. You're sensitized. This can feel uncomfortable. Your sensitivity has likely in the past been it's been labeled as a nuisance or a liability when you feel that sensitive feeling. You may even have something in your brain that tells you when you feel it, you're being like a baby or thin skinned or dramatic or whatever. That's not that. This is a reprogram for you, because that feeling is actually like an ability of yours to really feel what's going on energetically. And if you can start to see it as a gift rather than a liability, you'll be able to work with that energy. There are several times a year where the energies support an incredible heightened sensation or heightened atmosphere to everybody's intuition. And right now we're in that space. So you are likely feeling so much more right now. And it's likely triggering a lot of things from way back in the day that made you feel not so great about yourself. Like, why are you like this? Why are you so sensitive? Why do you have a headache all the time? Why this? Why that? And it's like, well, because I'm very sensitive to energy, and none of you yahoos know how to help me manage energy because you don't even understand energy. So that makes a lot of sense. But now here you are, as we reparent ourselves a little bit. Have some compassion for yourself. You're a very sensitive being, which means that you're a very powerful being. Power doesn't come from armoring yourself up and not feeling things. Power comes from feeling things and allowing yourself to learn from those feelings. Okay? So that's your beach message for this morning. I hope that resonated. Good morning, Nara. Coffee. Okay, and now it's the last one. So if you're just joining us, I'm sure the forest message must be for you then. Reminder, if you missed most of this morning's transmission, you can find the recordings on my YouTube or on my IGTV on Instagram. Okay. Also, reminder, our next live channeling is 11/22. I think it's a Tuesday. Seems right. I think it might be next Tuesday. That's our next channeling. Registration for that is open. Also, applications are open for the next 3-month workshop, which is called the Lifestyle Membership. That's up as well. And included in your membership is access to all of the live channeling events. So, and I've made the price for that really good. So just saying, if you have not been in workshop with us before and you're kind of like, I could use a little extra support, this is for you. And you can apply to that on my website, sarahmala.com/lifestyle. Okay. Registration will open for that on the 1st of December. All right. It's forest time. Okay. So many different vibes today, just like the places. All right. So if you chose forest, or if you're just choosing all the vibes and seeing what happens, you have the truth card. You have partnership. And you have dog. I thought I knew what this was gonna be, but it's not. The story is not what I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be, like, really, like, oh, soft and fluffy, but sorry, we're still in Scorpio season, so we've got some things to talk about. So you've got truth, partnership, and the dog. If you gravitated towards the woods, the forest, what have you, um, oof on this one because what happened? Did you discover that somebody you are partnered with in business, life, friendship, whatever, did you discover something that doesn't feel so good? Did you discover that that relationship is not at all what you thought it was? Has your ability to understand energy, to understand yourself, possibly, to understand life in a different way, has that made it impossible to see this relationship the way that it used to? And is this like the literal worst time of year for you to have discovered that um, they shall not pass, right? Um, that feels like a doozy. So, truth and partnership. I think that um, probably a lot of people are feeling this right now because um, that's kind of been the whole vibe of the eclipse season this time around is kind of, you know, ah, it's like the big reveal, but it's also like you surely surely you knew, um, and you did, but like you didn't want to literally at all because what does this do also? The problem, like the major logistical problem on this one is that if you are to stay in alignment with yourself and be a person who honors your own boundaries, you are going to have to make some serious structural changes to the way that your life is. And there's never really a time when everyone's like, that sounds great to me. Like, it's no problem. It is what it is. And I can't even say to you that like at this point, um, small changes will help because I think you've already known this. I think that you've known this for a while. And I think if you didn't know it consciously, you knew it unconsciously, subconsciously. And now it's in your face in such a way that it's visceral. Like it is smacking you in the face, like pew, 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 pew. And now you aren't even allowed to pretend you don't see it or don't feel it. And now, if you allow it, if you let things stand, you're also going to have to allow for the fact that you don't respect yourself enough to create an environment of life that is respectful to you. You're basically saying you don't deserve to be respected. You're basically saying that everybody else's supposed comfort level is much more important than you. And that may be the story. I don't know. But sometimes the woods speaks plain English. Now, don't forget, we also have the dog. So here's the dog, and the dog is kind of like going to help guide you through this one because your muscle memory and many people around you are going to tell you how to navigate this, and it's going to be in the opposite direction of yourself because you know, it's better, according to people who have been feeding off of your energy, it's better for you to hold discomfort than to make others uncomfortable. And the dog is going to remind you at every turn to choose yourself. Because at this point, if you are not choosing yourself, you're just jumping back into a toxic cycle. And something you probably know already is that anybody, this relationship especially, um, there's no there's no healing happening. And do you know why? It's not because you're not trying. It's not because you're not putting all of your energy into it. There's no healing happening because the other person does not give a shit. And it's not that they're a bad person per se, but they are so far from being self cognizant and having any desire to make any real changes in themselves. They are walking around with a mirror coating on themselves and reflecting everything back at everybody else and not letting anybody in and not letting themselves in. And it's not your job to remove that. Um, but all of that energy that you're putting into this isn't creating any healing, right? There's been no progress and no growth. And in fact, if you felt like there was, like if you felt like, oh, I finally broke through this person, what happened? Was it only a temporary breakthrough? And are you the one that actually shifted your behavior and made things easier for them? Like this gets deep. And I'm guessing you've been deep in it for a minute. And the holidays are rolling up. So you might be saying, like, well, let's just truce it. And I do have a hack for you on this one. Because here's the thing. You don't have to explain your moves to anyone. This is an inside job. Kicking somebody out of your emotional inner circle is an inside job, and you don't need to send them a 2-week notice. In fact, whoever this person is has long over, like they've gotten their notice a long time ago. Um, so you actually are allowed to like just completely cut off your emotional energy here and not explain yourself, which means that you can be in a situation where you're very civil to this person and very kind, but you don't let them get under your skin anymore because you've decided they don't get to access that. And for some people, it's not possible to do that while being physically present with this person for a while. You may need several months of just cold turkey, maybe even years. I don't know. But whatever you need, please take it. It's not worth it anymore not to choose yourself. You won't be happy. You won't feel good. And I know it's scary and somewhat isolating, but on the other side of choosing yourself, there's a whole bunch of us that are choosing ourselves as well. And we deserve to know each other. We deserve to know ourselves. We deserve to feel that love. And you don't need to give your most precious energy to people who don't even understand you or want to understand you, have no curiosity, have no desire. They just want to use the energy. So continue to choose yourself. Loop back to you every time. Ask yourself, is this loving to me? Am I respecting my energy and my boundaries? Because this, you already know. You already saw it. It is clear as day. And it is not going to fade into the background. You've seen it, you can't unsee it. So that's your forest message for this morning. Woof, man, oh man. What a time. Wow. All right. Happy Monday, my friends. Um, let's do one more thing. Not because I feel bad, because certainly this may not help, but I'm feeling a colleague card to send us off um, on our merry little ways this morning. Okay, so one more card. This is collective. You don't have to choose anything. Woo. Tell you what. Tell you what. It's a good one. So again, reminder, next channeling is the 22nd. It is a Tuesday night. I will send out an email later today with signups and all that stuff. So make sure you're on my email list. You can sign up for my email list. There's a link in my bio. On TikTok and Instagram, or just go to sarahmala.com. Ooh, I need to change something on that too, don't I? I need to change the Coffee and Magic because we're doing it here again. I'm glad to be streaming back on my socials. I think I needed the break, quite frankly. So I obviously listened to my nudges and give y'all whiplash, but I've been listening and it's what I needed for a minute. I needed a break. And now I'm back. I haven't gotten kicked off of TikTok today, so that feels good. Joined on the tail end of the last message, but felt it resonated. Red for filth. Red for filth? What does that mean? All right, here we go. I'm excited. Janelle, are you joining? Do you think you're going to join the workshop? I hope you do. I hope you do. Okay. Oh, we've had this before, or have we not? This was in my dream. This color was in my dream. Okay, so this is 33. This is Anahata Kali. This is going to be obviously about heart stuff. It's obviously going to be about heart stuff. Okay. Oh, good. I'm glad you're joining. I was like, I didn't want to like obviously be like, all of my previous workshop people need to join or I won't be happy. But like, I was really hoping you'd join, Janelle. I was also hoping Carrie would too. So no pressure, but I want my fan back. All right. This is Anahata Kali. This is from the Kali Oracle deck by Alana Fairchild. I love this deck. I use it sparingly, but I love it. Here it is again. This looks interesting, right? Okay. Anahata is heart chakra. The journey of the soul is the journey from the head to the heart. Anahata is the Sanskrit name for the heart chakra. Anahata Kali is the goddess who secures the awakening, transformation, and liberation of the heart. Love is her expression. When Kali Ma touches the heart, it becomes capable of love that is increasingly unconditional, fearless, and compassionate. Such empowerments often manifest through loss and betrayal. In responding to such challenges, we grow our heart's capacity for love, processing, and healing emotions of grief, betrayal, and anger. Our heart becomes stronger through the process. The human heart is capable of overcoming enormous negativity. It is an astonishingly powerful and beautiful temple of spirit. We can underestimate the extraordinary power of the heart by focusing on its sweetness, love, and light, as though they were weaker than anger, fear, or the consuming intensity of grief. We can only begin to understand the spiritual worlds and how they operate when we let go of the human perspective. A human believes that the heavier and denser something is the more powerful. Hold on, let me read that again. A human believes that the heavier and denser something is, the more powerful it is. A heavy emotion like anger or physical situations that appears gridlocked are given more weight than the intangible realms of spirit. Yet, spirit is behind all things, in all things. Being invisible does not impede its effectiveness. If anything, it enhances it. For something so seemingly invisible, love has unconquerable power. Sorry. We affirm this in expressions such as love can move mountains or love will always find a way. Yet, we are conditioned to believe that there is more power in what we can see and control rather than the spiritual power of love. Such conditioning pulls us away from heart connection and into the fear based belief system that we need to control things or there will be no benefit, no safety, and no happiness. However, we can never be safe if we are disconnected from the spiritual home of the heart, where all healing wisdom, true guidance, spiritual protection, and regenerating vitality resides. The backlog of emotional pain stored in our hearts can sometimes cause us to shut down, even when we know that in closing down our hearts, we lose out on love's joy and wisdom. We may go through the motions of living, but without the real emotional juice and revitalizing engagement with life. Kalianahata brings a message from the Divine Mother that she is supporting you in healing your heart. She wants you to connect to more profound joy in life. As you trust yourself and trust in her, you can heal even long term karmic scars. You can learn to return to love, to be in love, to live the love within your ever beautiful heart. For those who live from the heart space, it can be hard to remember what it was like before. Yet, many still live in such a way, driven by fear, plagued with anxiety, hardened through living in a way that is oppressive to the spirit. The oracle asks you to acknowledge how far you've come and where you would like to go, not so much in terms of external markers, but in terms of emotional freedom. Mm. If you've been focusing on healing a specific issue in your life, the oracle indicates that you have the strength, wisdom, and courage of heart to accomplish that. For those who have had their heart broken, in love, in spiritual communities, by friends or family members, by God or life itself. The message here is that something deeper is taking place. The shattering of structures, even of ideals, gives the heart the opportunity to break free and open up to a greater and more satisfying experience and expression of love. Becoming non defensive, softening, and opening to spirit with unconditional trust places you in a position of astonishing protection, empowerment, and grace. Keep your heart open to the Divine Mother. Through that openness, the right thing shall emerge at the right time. The walls we build around our hearts need to be broken down so we can fulfill our sacred purpose and path. Trust that the pains of your past do not have a place in your future. No matter what appears to be, she knows the way through. Temper your fierce emotions without denying them. Keep bringing yourself back to your center. Continue to find the moderate and peaceful resting place within, even as you make radical progress on your path. The oracle predicts the successful completion of a time of spiritual initiation. Grace yourself with the gift of relief and trust that all is well. Well, that was super kind Kali card for this morning. A little soothing heart energy, summing it all up. I hope you have an amazing Monday. It's been really nice to wake up with you and have my coffee and pull some cards. I will be back at 10 a.m. on Friday morning to do it again. Make sure to also drink some water today. Be super kind to yourself. I love you. Mwah. Make sure you're on my mailing list. And thank you to everybody who shared the video on TikTok. I really appreciate that. Have an amazing, amazing day.